We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I am your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my right is the current reigning, defending Scholars of Wrestling heavyweight champion of this particular world, Scholar Tarek. What's going on tonight, sir?
Well, not really much to talk about wrestling-wise, but still enough to make an episode's worth.
Oh yes, it is the road to Money in the Bank. We're finally getting our entrance.
That's all we really got out of this week.
But no, we do have one other thing. We do also have, back with us today, the one and only, the Schwipper resident, Scholar Brian. What's going on tonight, sir?
RAW and Smackdown. Meh.
Nah.
But then something
That's
happened.
being nice.
Something happened Tuesday night, right after the show, that made me able to breathe easy once more.
I think I know what you're talking about. So let's cover it in the way we ought to kick off every good episode of Scholars of Wrestling, with a little bit of backstage news.
Indeed, we shall go ahead and peek behind that curtain and check in on a little
Backstage news.
news.
Moxman.
Yes, you heard that right. If you've been paying attention to the Twitter sphere or any length of time over the past week, Dean Ambrose is no more. And they have just released one and only Jon Moxley.
No. If you're going to be introducing this, you're going to be introducing this correctly, Scholars of Wrestling style. Dean Ambrose is no more. And out of the ashes returns Jon Moxley to his barbed wire arm bloody glory.
Out of the prison that is WWE, being chased by the big dog, made it out as you knew something was up. Well, you knew something was up because it came out on Jon Moxley Twitter. So that kind of blew the game right there. But the moment he got his arm trapped in barbed wire, squeezed it and pulled, I was like,
It's like, that's not PG.
Yeah. I'm
It
like,
most
so
certainly is
so
not.
any thought of, hey, this is like WWE production values, out the window with that little thing. And in a minute and 27 seconds, I saw more character from Jonathan Good than I had seen since 2014.
It's like, I haven't seen that much character since jamming a needle up my ass.
In a minute, and
Right, Dean?
In a minute.
Oh, wait, that's right. Dean's dead.
Dean is dead.
Dead Dean.
Fuck that guy. No, just kidding. What?
There is only Mox.
In a minute and 27 seconds. Okay, any bad taste that had been left in any fan's mouth with the way he had been treated for the last 4 months, or however long. Okay, it's just like, this is what came out of it. This video, let me put it into perspective for you, has more views on YouTube than Raw and Smackdown, the shows, combined.
To the shock of no one, I hope.
No, not shocked at all.
Which just shows that when you give someone with the creative mind of Jonathan Good a little bit of rope, okay, if this is what can come out of it. The WWE refused to give him that rope, and that's what pissed him off enough to leave. You get this 5 minutes after his contract ends. And it's one of the best things in wrestling I've seen this year. Easily.
I'm not sure if I would go quite that far, but it is undeniably exciting. And obviously, he had this ready to go and queued up way before he filmed this way in advance, ready to go and announces himself to the world. Even giving it a good 5 minutes, just right after, immediately after his contract expired, just to give it a little bit of space. But either way, the message is loud and clear. Jon Moxley, as the independent scene has known him, is back with the experience of Dean Ambrose in tow.
Moxley is back, and he's better than ever.
And you've got guys all over the independent scene.
You know that had to come.
Yes, I was just trying to struggle to think of a second line there, but I got nothing.
You don't need a second line. The one line is more than enough.
You've got independent wrestlers now lining up on Twitter to face this guy. You've got various independent companies, wrestlers from all over the independents want to face this guy.
Shut up and sign my contract. Pretty much all the wrestling companies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not even that. It's just like, hey, show up at this show, and then all the fans are gonna be shut up and take my money.
Pretty much.
It's just another thing to get excited about the outer ranks. Just shows that there's more than WWE. If somebody, the likes of Dean Ambrose, and let's face it, okay, Dean Ambrose has money, okay? It's not, for all those people online that said that this is WWE or AEW produced, Dean Ambrose has his own money. He can go out and get his own crew and make his own Twitter videos.
Which speculation is going on that it was actually made by Joey Janela's media company, or some of his people. I don't know.
Yeah, and if anybody should do it, it should be a fellow hardcore guy like that. It's a very exciting time for, and it broke Twitter. It broke it hard, man.
Again, it's undeniably exciing.
It broke the wrestling world.
Yeah,
and it broke more than just Twitter.
Oh yeah, this is really the only thing coming out of this week that has me excited about the state of wrestling. This week, other weeks, other things can happen, but this week it's all about the Mox, man. That's it.
Yes. But again, elsewhere in the world of wrestling, there are some other things beginning to bubble. We're going to be talking about that starting with this past week's Monday Night Raw, where we got the Raw side of the men's Money in the Bank participants finally revealed. We have Braun Strowman, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, and Baron Corbin on the Raw side.
I just want to throw this out there, and I'm encompassing all the way they announced all the Money in the Bank participants in both matches on both shows. I'm just throwing it all together. This is just for this point. Just for this point. Remember when they had qualifying matches?
Yes, they do.
Remember when the times where they wouldn't just come out to the ring and say, "Hey, here are your four," and then on SmackDown they don't even do that.
Yeah,
they just put up the faces on the screen and just be like, "Hey, these are the other four." It's like, when you announce it like this, at what point am I supposed to care?
Because it just shows that they didn't. They're just like, oh yeah. The one thing that I really hated about this week is, in my personal opinion, I thought both shows sucked.
Yep.
Yeah, they were particularly weak with some momentary points of amusement.
Like, they could have built this event with, as Brian said, with qualifying matches, because when you really look at it, like some of these participants are just thrown in. It's like, why are they thrown in? I mean, Ricochet lost to Robert Roode last week. We don't even see Robert Roode this week. And where's he? Where's Cesaro? What's going on?
All these new exciting singles runs.
Yes, all the new exciting stuff that we talked about last week. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be seen this week. And
I only counted 2 exciting things that happened on this week's Raw.
For me, it's only one, and that's a particularly one fine television program for children.
Yes,
but for the Raw participants in general, I'm kind of underwhelmed. Especially,
do we want to talk about the women's right now too? Cover that.
Well, it's kind of actually with both of them. Yeah, they're both kind of underwhelming on the Raw side. The only 2 that I'm actually looking forward to on the men's side is Ricochet and Drew McIntyre. Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin are doing nothing for me being in this match.
Yeah, Baron Corbin never did anything for me, and Braun Strowman has just lost a lot of his luster ever since last year.
But okay, WWE loves this guy.
They do.
Baron Corbin.
That's why a part of me is scared that they actually may give it to him again.
Yeah, it's one of those, we kind of fucked him over the first time. And let's try it again. I'm like, no.
But this time he hasn't.
No,
he has
not when you have Drew McIntyre in there.
Grown-ass
Drew
man
McIntyre. When you have the likes of Drew McIntyre, Andrade, Finn Balor, Ali, okay, you do not give it again to dead weight like Baron Corbin. Braun Strowman, not quite dead weight yet. He's still fun. Okay.
He is still fun, but yeah, as Jeff said, he lost a lot of momentum this past year.
But here's another thing. Okay, both shows, they announced the men's Money in the Bank participants, and then they throw them together in a tag team match.
Because
why would these people? Why would Braun Strowman and Ricochet want a team together?
Because
why would Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, okay, have teamed? It's like
you can't honestly beat that.
I can't beat it
because faces.
I can't beat it, but what am I supposed?
The one thing I will give Raw over SmackDown is they actually built something with the 4 guys. So that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards the fact that it may be a Raw guy winning the men's Money in the Bank.
I can almost guarantee you it's McIntyre.
Because that's the only like it's only those sets of guys that actually got any real time to acknowledge they're in the Money in the Bank ladder match and that they're going to do something about try their best to win it. With the SmackDown guys, you know what? We can't even really
they really just threw each other out there.
Talk about both shows. We can just nothing's really happened on both shows this week, so it's just one big conversation of just the reaction of Money in the Bank.
Pretty much, yeah. Because we already covered the men's Money in the Bank for SmackDown. Finn Balor, Andrade, Ali, and Randy Orton.
Throw them together.
Those are better 4.
Throw them together. That's what worse. You got? Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
That's worse. I mean, the way they threw it together on SmackDown is worse because they didn't even build a story.
Oh, yeah,
at least they built a story to go into the tag team match on Raw. On SmackDown, they were just like, "Hey, Finn Balor, Ali, go out there and fight Andrade and Randy Orton." Why? Because you can.
Because reason.
Because faces versus heels.
I'm like, yeah, it was fun. That match was always going to be fun, but. Why should I care?
It's just when they announced the SmackDown men for the Money in the Bank, at least my response was, "Hey, these are better choices. I actually like all of these guys. These are guys who I know who actually can put on an actual good match in this for the briefcase. Well, you two fight for the beefcase."
Yeah, they didn't even announce it like in the ring like they did on Raw. They just put it up on the Titantron and on the television screen, and we're like, here you go. That's it.
It's just the best way to describe this week is they just did not give 2 shits about either of these shows.
They didn't care, so why should we?
You feel it. You feel it hard. Both shows suck. They were boring as hell, except for Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse. And for the women's side,
the word of the day is sociopath.
Once again, that's the only reason why I watch the shows this week, just to see what Bray's gonna do next.
Yowie wowie.
And
I'm surprised they haven't gotten a shirt that says Yowie wowie on it.
It'll come.
For the women's Money in the Bank, it's kind of the role reversed for Raw. Like, they put more focus on the women all reacting to it,
which makes us now think probably that a SmackDown participant is going to win the women's Money in the Bank.
The only real focus that they had on Raw was just Naomi and Alexa Bliss, and they weren't even focusing on the Money in the Bank. It was just, they were focusing on Alexa Bliss's shoes.
Which, I just need to say this. This seems like the dumbest rationale for anything ever, especially considering that my only other interest in Monday Night Raw this past week, the real woman herself, Lacey Evans, just a matter of weeks ago. Meanwhile, Alexa Bliss is complaining about, I don't have the right shoes. Meanwhile, you've got someone like Lacey Evans who's throwing fists with the champ in heels.
I can't wait to see the expression on your face when she loses Money in the Bank. But
you shut your filthy mouth.
Okay, I'll give that Alexa Bliss and Naomi match points for trying.
It was definitely different.
It's compared to everything else on Raw. Okay, it was one of those, like, was it good? Was it good rationale? No, but at least they tried.
It was definitely something different.
Yeah,
because the big argument is they're doing promos in their wrestling gear. It's obviously going to build to something different, or it's obviously going to build to a match. This was something different. She was in high heels. She was in her She was in a promo attire.
She was in shoes that were borrowed.
She was in shoes that were borrowed that she really couldn't get any time to actually, tie them. And it made Naomi look like a complete bitch. It's like, give me a minute, let me finish. No! But you use it to advantage, and Naomi wins because her opponent wasn't fully ready. Yeah, that's the sign of a great face. It makes you more sympathetic for Alexa Bliss.
Which kind of makes me think, are they setting up a turn for Alexa Bliss here?
Not
with Naomi, but at some point.
Eventually, but not anytime soon.
I need to see the context before I buy into that fully, just because Alexa Bliss is so entertaining as a heel.
Yeah, it's very
Unless
true.
they bring in like some sort of megaton heel, I just don't see her turning anytime soon.
And I will say this for Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch: when they get into a brawl, it looks like a brawl. It looks like two women are just beating the shit out of each other,
and it's awesome.
And yes, even though I like to talk shit because of how much you're into her, I do like what I'm seeing out of this feud. It's just two women who want to beat the shit out of each other, and I'm fine with that. Let's see more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is my problem with just throwing this out there real quick. The whole AJ Styles Seth Rollins thing. It goes back to
that thing.
It goes back to AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. Okay, you have an obvious setup. There's no need to overcomplicate it. I've got a club behind me. Why would you need one? That's it. And
Bullet Club references.
And why do they have to make AJ Styles come off like a dick when it could just be AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins? Would do the two best wrestlers in the company at this point in time, which one's better? That's it. It's a simple setup. It's all you need. Why do you need to overcomplicate it? It's the WWE way of
It's not even that it got overly complicated. It's just the whole setup was lame, overly written, and it sucked. Bully Ray even put it on this week on Busted Open. They both came from the same company. They both came from the same indie background. They were both champions in Ring of Honor. They both came up the same way, but from what I understand, they just missed each other and they never faced each other. That's your setup. You don't have to go briefly. You don't have to go too much in there past. Just say, hey, we're both champions. We both came from the same place, but we never fought each other. Now is the optimal time. Let's go.
But see, as we and as so many other people, including Bully Ray, said, we have the build for it. It's basically open on a nice silver platter, waiting to be feasted on. Going back to the meals metaphor for us, but there's just one factor, and that's Vince McMahon. Remember, to Vince McMahon, there is nothing else other than WWE. So to him, that platter of great storytelling doesn't exist to him. Instead, he just put on the traditional. One has to pull on more heelish factor because one has to be cheered and one has to be booed. We can't have it so there's 50-50 where 50% are for Seth Rollins, 50% are AJ Styles. One has to be more than the other. And because Seth Rollins is, yes, they were both indie darlings, but Seth is definitely now more the WWE guy than AJ Styles is. And both guys are becoming more WWE guys the more they're in the company. But it's just, which one do we want more? Which one do we appreciate more? Well, Seth Rollins has been in the company more, and he's done a lot more, and he's one of Triple H's guys. So, there you have it.
Either way, just what you're saying is making sense, but I felt myself getting more tired the more I'm hearing it. Just the more can they make it, the more that I find myself not caring. And when you're talking about two of the best wrestlers on the planet right now, that's just sad.
And then moving on to SmackDown, it's basically the same thing with Kofi Kingston and Kevin Owens.
Except Kevin Owens brings action figures. Which,
yes.
At least I was able to watch that and be somewhat
that was fun.
That.
That was fun, but that opening promo with Kofi Kingston.
Oh, God.
First of all, what the hell is Michael Cole doing on SmackDown?
The first 10 minutes of that promo was
why are we doing
the
this?
most irritating thing. I'm like,
why are we doing this?
WrestleMania
it was 3
weeks ago. Why the hell are you bringing this up? Like you said, A, why the hell is Michael Cole on this show? B, why the hell is he bringing up stuff that we've already known, that we've watched 3 weeks of already? We're not people. Vince, we are not idiots. We have been watching this show for 3 fucking weeks. Why do we need to go through this? Once it actually started getting into Kevin Owens, then the promo started getting interesting.
Because about 5 minutes in, you're just like, hey, people, KO beat the fuck out of Kofi Kingston last week.
Oh my!
What are we doing here?
There's another factor. There's another factor that actually pissed me off about this. Kofi came out as if nothing happened. He was all New Day as throwing pancakes to the crowd. And then it's basically that first 10 minutes. It's like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and just be like, this is the SmackDown after WrestleMania, and built this whole promo on the fact that he's been 11 years in the making. We don't need to do this shit anymore. Why are we this segment pissed me off to no end.
The only thing I can think of is that there's some kind of initiative, maybe, going on in the WWE where they're like, we might have new viewers.
That's exactly it.
We might have new viewers. We got to go through some stuff so that they know what's going on. And you know what? First of all, you don't have new viewers. You're losing them by the bucketful.
When you're doing crap like this.
Second of all, okay, it annoys the people who've been watching it for years and know what's going on. And third of all, okay, you're trying to set up a blood feud between Kevin Owens and Kofi Kingston for Money in the Bank. Fine. Okay. In a, what was it, 15, 20-minute promo?
Yeah.
Yeah. And about 4 minutes of that is about the actual feud. And once again, you get Vince McMahon language from Kevin Owens. You're an unworthy champion. Why can't it just be Kevin Owens wants the title, you have the title? We're going into
it's like it's like, you have the title, I want the title. The best. It's like you say all I had to do was ask. No, that's not how I want to do things. How I want to do things is to break you, and the best way to break you is to infiltrate your group, make you trust me. And when it's the moment where like you're at your most vulnerable moment, I took advantage of it. It's not. Again, it's like you said, Vince McMahon booking. Oh, you are just a mediocre champion. You are not. It's back to the whole B+ player storyline, and we don't need that.
Yeah, it's like they're bringing back the Daniel Bryan storyline for Kofi Kingston's championship run because they had to cut Daniel Bryan's championship storyline short because of the injury. So they're like, okay, we could go further into this with Kofi. Let's pull it back out again. No. Sometimes simple shit works. Okay, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am completely underwhelmed by this. At least I'm not totally bored, but at least with this, it just falls under the purview of it's just not as good as it could be.
Oh, for this particular thing, it's not on the fact of being bored. That's for the rest of the show, for the reaction, for whatever storylines they try to build on these Money in the Bank feuds. Having a feud be focusing on the fact that a tag team has one guy shaving his friend's back.
That was so dumb.
Yeah.
Oh my! It made the revival more sympathetic because he was like, they explained it's like we're best friends. I trust him to shave my back, and he acknowledged it. I'm like, you know what? That's absolutely right. That is an invasion of privacy. We're once again siding with the heels, and the faces are looking like stupid idiots. Looking like stupid idiots and looking like a bunch of jackasses.
Can we confirm now that I think that this is proof that the revival did not sign those $500,000 contracts.
Yeah, they're not,
and they will be gone by the end of the year because holy shit.
And then you have that going on with the tag team division on Raw, the tag team division on SmackDown. Whatever is there. The Hardy Boys had to relinquish the title. I have to give them props.
I do like what they did with Lars Sullivan.
I like the fact that even though Jeff got hurt on a house show, they're actually making it a storyline that it was Lars that took him out. I like that
because it's good monster booking, and then you get the monster trope of R-Truth coming in with a steel chair, hitting him in the back. What do you think's gonna happen, R-Truth?
No sell.
No cell and death. That's it.
And then
in that order.
Yes.
And you think, oh, Becky's not the only one that has feuds on both Raw and SmackDown. We have the best in the world, Shane McMahon, having a feud with The Miz on Raw and having a feud with Roman Reigns on SmackDown.
And who does he bring out for Roman Reigns on SmackDown? The B Team and Elias. Does anybody think that those three could beat Roman Reigns?
You know what?
I'm sorry.
No,
I know you like Elias. I know you do. But
here's
okay.
the
Even that,
here's
I
the
didn't
thing
say
that-
anything. I just said.
Here's the thing that is upsetting me
it's not
about
gonna
this.
happen.
They are slowly. Actually, you know what? They're not even slowly. They're they're making Roman Reigns the quote the best acquisition for SmackDown Live, and of course, it's once again now that he's back to being the big dog Roman Reigns. He's back. He's like, okay, I'm back as the big dog Roman Reigns. Hey, look, the Mario star. That's where I put it. And just eating through the competition. Why?
Bored.
Well,
Why do we care about what's going on if there is no obstacle for Roman Reigns? Like, we have the obstacle. He's just Mario Brothers starring through this feud.
well, hold on. Let me back up a little bit here because look at the players in the feud. Would anybody expect the B team to be able to compete with Roman Reigns?
Here's an idea. Actually have the B team get this big win so you can actually start legitimately building up your SmackDown Tag Team division, which there really is none. Now that the Hardy Boys are gone, the only people who I actually think are worthy of getting the SmackDown Tag Team titles is Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. And then, okay, they're the Tag Team champions. Who are they legit contenders? The B team? Well, they're a joke now because Roman Reigns ate them. Heavy Machinery? Where the hell are they? They haven't even showed up on SmackDown since they've been drafted. The Colognes? Again, where the hell are they? We haven't seen them since Survivor Series last year. But they were just in there because, hey, we needed more bodies for the SmackDown Tag Team Survivor Series. That's it! There is nothing you need. There's just so much nothing. When there actually is something there, but they're building it they're building it up so bad, or not building them up at all, to the point where, why do we care?
If you wanted me to believe that a tag team had a chance against Roman Reigns, even with Elias as the special guest referee, you should have thrown Nakamura and Rusev in there. As soon as the B team came out,
You know what?
they didn't make them. Roman Reigns did not make them look like a joke on SmackDown. He made them look like what they are, according to WWE, and what the WWE has made them look like for at least 2 years now. So there was no surprise here. There was going to be no surprise here. If you wanted the surprise here, you should have put Nakamura and Rusev.
I actually like that. That would have been, because where was Nakamura and Rusev this show? You have such great talent, but you're not utilizing them to the point where people are invested in them. You can't just be invested in Roman Reigns and have that be the only thing that people actually, that you think that's the only thing we care about on SmackDown. Oh God! And back to the Raw tag team match with the Money in the Bank winners. Once again, I had to fast forward all of Baron Corbin's shit because all he is just rest holds. That's the guy that they're booking as their top heel of the brand.
Remember when Randy Orton was all rest holds? It's that kind of boring.
But here's the thing: we know Randy Orton
he grew out of
a good match.
He grew out of it. Okay, when he first came in, he was rest hold city. He was boring as fuck, but he grew out of it. I don't think that Baron Corbin can grow out of it. I don't think it's possible. So,
because the man could not put on a good match to save his life. He cannot put on a good match against Moppy. May she rest in peace.
Wow, did we really just get a Moppy reference in 2019?
Damn right we did.
Yes.
Wow.
When Tarek gets angry, the references come out.
It has been a long time. And now since this title reign, I've been trying to be more positive. I've tried to see the goodness in everything.
You can't do it this week.
I can't do it this week to the point where I'm angry. I am legit pissed off of what they gave me, and honestly, they deserve to get these low ratings. with the type of shit they're trying to give us.
They deserve a vignette, a 1:30 promo to get more views than both of their big shows combined. They deserve that because what we got this week, why would I watch next week? Why would I care?
I can think of only 2 reasons to tune in.
The Funhouse.
That's it. That's it for me.
And Lacey.
Once the Funhouse ended,
And Becky Lynch.
I'm not gonna lie. Once the Funhouse ended, I turned off both shows. I actually watched SmackDown to repeat the Firefly Funhouse.
So did I.
And I kind of want to talk about the Firefly Funhouse because it was another good episode.
And they're bringing back the Randy Orton.
It's him painting, and when he turned around and revealed it that it's the burning house, the burning, what's it called?
The burning Sister Abigail house.
The Wyatt compound.
The Wyatt compound. Thank you. Yeah. And he turned around and you hear that screaming and the flames. It was legit creepy. And now they actually debuted the rabbit. Rambling rabbit, which is a nice
freaky,
call.
Man.
Which is a nice call to people always saying that his promos are just nothing more but than rambling. Everything that he's doing on his show, again, as we said it last week, layers. There are so many layers to these Firefly Funhouse specials.
I believe that this is what could put him over.
It is
the top. As long as the stockholders shut your fucking mouths. I swear to God. If you get this,
don't ruin this.
If you ruin this, I will find you.
I wanna just what was his ending? It's like, let me in. Something. What was the first part?
I'll light the way. All you need to do is let me in.
If he makes a shirt of that, I'm getting it.
Yes.
I love the complete shift in tone too. Like, I'll always light the way. All you need to do is let me in. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. I was like,
it's like he's happy Mr. Rogers, then creepy Bray Wyatt.
It's brilliant.
And then comes back to happy Mr. Rogers.
I love it.
Let me in,
I'm so happy.
Children.
That's the only thing that actually, other than the Jon Moxley video, which I like this one, I watched many times. Those are the only things that actually made me happy, legit happy this week. I actually wasn't planning on coming to the show legit losing my temper. I was just be like, okay. I was thinking this is just going to be a generic episode of Scholars of Wrestling because it was such a generic episode. But
and then I had to bring it up.
The more we talked about it, the more angry it got me to the point where I had a legit rant about the opening segment to SmackDown Live. To SmackDown Live, the show, the better, in my opinion, the better of the two shows.
So this is certainly has been a very odd weekend when it comes to this week in wrestling. I still have hope that over the next couple weeks leading up to Money in the Bank that they will hear the complaints and then we'll mix it up appropriately.
It's not going to stop them.
I would still like to at least.
I wish I had your optimism right now, but I'm not.
It's just not so much optimism. It's hope that the possibility exists. But until then,
it exists.
So you're saying there's a chance?
No, because of the people in charge.
I think cannot help but believe otherwise. But until then, we cannot close out this episode without asking a question. Raw versus SmackDown Live.
I refuse to give credit to either one of these shows. I'm dropping out of the running this week. They're both... No. Neither show happened this week. They don't exist.
I'm going to go with Monday Night Raw for no other reason than Lacey Evans is on it.
The most entertaining show to come out this week? The Scholars of Wrestling show, because it gave us this episode alone. I had more fun than watching both Raw and SmackDown. Did that thing just move? Is it?
We got ghosts.
It's slowly lowering to be like, hey guys, I'm still here too. I want to hear.
Who's controlling the rope?
It's like I'm here too. which one of you two is actually going to win me this year?
Here's
To go
the
against me.
Here's the
Easy.
problem.
Me.
Here's the problem. Okay? Watching these two shows this week has somehow dampened my enthusiasm for this, which means somehow I will come out on top, because that's what always happens.
You are
the
bleeding.
person
Make
who
me
doesn't
victor.
the person who doesn't give a shit wins. That's it.
Says you. I'm still going
That
after
is
this
such a
thing.
lame excuse to want to win that thing.
I am going for
I'm actually very disappointed in you right now for that.
It's all right. It's all right.
It will be all right, because ultimately at the end of the show, the beef case is coming home with me. And don't believe, it's okay. You don't have to believe me.
I will say, though, it definitely is a great feeling holding that beef case.
Yes, it's always fun. So every once in a while, you just need to hold the beef case in your life. Am I right?
I've already done it, and it felt really great.
So I've heard. I hope I too get the chance to hold the beef case once or twice in my life. But until then, you know where to reach us. You reach us all across the internet. Let us know what you think. Drop us a line on YouTube, Facebook, whatever you got. Or you can do things the fun way and join us on Twitter, starting with @ScholarsOW for all the latest episode uploads. And you can also join us on our personal Twitter accounts. Where can they reach you?
You can reach me at the Avataric.
Brian, where
You
can
can
reach
reach
you?
me not giving a shit about anything at Atomic Beanpole.
And you can reach me at I'm Robbie Rage, whereas I prep to get the Scholars of Wrestling beef case.
You can't even ask the audience which show they liked more. That was one. It's like, which do you like more, Raw or Smackdown? You can't even ask
This
that
one.
question. You can't even ask that question this week, because again,
You
those
asked
shows
it,
suck.
and you were in the process of asking it, and I was stop it.
No, he knew better not to ask, because it's
Because
just
I didn't need to.
It's just you don't. There is no answer. I'm surprised you actually had an answer.
Oh, well,
Mr. Optimism over here has to have hope. So that's
It's not so much optimism as much as my fandom for both Bray Wyatt and Lacey Evans. That's it.
Let me put it to you.
I'm a simple man.
We thought the WrestleMania hangover had passed. It wasn't going to be like the last few years. They got a couple weeks, and then it came on strong this week, man. That's what happened. The hangover waited, and then it just struck hard.
Then again, at least it gave us something to yell about.
I didn't want to yell. It just happened.
Sometimes yelling's fun. Sometimes you need to get it out.
That's why this show is more entertaining than both Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah. But then again, you already knew that, because you know who we are. We're the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. Let's get back together for another better week next time.